Because my parents spent their entire lives doing good deeds and helping those in need, they accumulated immense virtue. Thanks to their kindness, our whole family was blessed with a peaceful and harmonious life. In November 2014, I returned to my hometown and heard my elder sister recount a remarkable story about a white buffalo's reincarnation, a story she had personally witnessed. In the early 1950s, my family lived in a mountainous region in northern Vienna. My parents were simple, honest, and kind-hearted people who earned their living by cultivating hillside fields. We made very little money throughout the year, and almost every household in those days struggled to make ends meet. Compared with many others, however, our family was considered somewhat better off. During those years, many city dwellers moved to the countryside in search of farmland, hoping only to grow enough food so they would not go hungry. Around that time, an elderly man surnamed B arrived in our village. He built a small, humble hut against the mountainside and spent each day clearing land and planting crops. Eventually, his little house deteriorated so badly that it collapsed and could no longer be lived in. He then moved in with his adopted daughter in the village, but before long, she drove him out as well. By then, the old man was already 73 years old. He was too weak to work and had no money at all. At lunchtime, a few strangers passing by invited him into their homes for a meal before continuing on his way. That evening, other kind strangers offered him a place to sleep for the night and suggested he continue his journey the next day. Everyone in the village knew that my parents were generous people who treated everyone with kindness. The old man had heard the same, so he came to our house and humbly asked if he could stay with us just until the winter had passed. He said that once spring arrived, he would find another solution. Seeing how pitiful his circumstances truly were, my parents gladly agreed. Although he was not related to us in any way, we all lived together happily. Our household of 7 or 8 people depended entirely on my parents' care. Sadly, those peaceful days did not last long. The old man fell seriously ill and eventually became bedridden. My parents devoted themselves to caring for him every single day. Deeply moved by their compassion, he often said how fortunate he was to have met such kind-hearted people. He promised that if he recovered, he would surely repay their kindness the following year. But if he were to die, then in his next life he would certainly return the great favor. He asked my father to write a letter to his younger brother on his behalf. My father comforted him, encouraging him not to worry, saying that he would soon recover and safely pass through what many believed to be the unlucky 73rd year of life. Day after day passed. Then, during that winter, the old man quietly slipped away in his sleep. He never woke again. He did not survive that winter. Sometime after his passing, his younger brother finally arrived to take him home, only to discover that he had come too late. The younger brother said,
"My brother departed too soon. Thank you for taking him in and caring for him. In his next life, he will be reborn as a white buffalo to repay your family's great kindness."
My parents were puzzled as to how the younger brother could know such a thing, but they did not dwell on it. In those days, our region had only black water buffaloes. No one had ever heard of a white buffalo. Many years later, something extraordinary happened. One of our family's female buffaloes gave birth to a snow-white calf. The white calf had only just been born. Its fur was still wet, and it could barely stand. Yet it struggled to its feet and slowly made its way up the mountain path, heading directly toward a nearby irrigation canal. Curious, everyone followed behind without trying to stop it. Along the way, it passed 7 or 8 graves without pausing. Only when it reached the grave of Mr. B did it finally stop. There it stood motionless for a very long time. Eventually, its mother found the calf, but the little white buffalo refused to leave. Only when my nephew returned from working in the fields, walked over to Mr. B's grave, and gently picked up the calf did it finally agree to return home. As time passed, the white calf grew into a magnificent female buffalo. Among the entire herd, she was by far the finest, large, strong, healthy, and highly fertile. Every year she gave birth to a calf, and each one fetched an excellent price. Whether young or fully grown, her offspring were admired by everyone who saw them. My parents continued to enjoy peaceful and happy years surrounded by their children and grandchildren. Thanks largely to the thriving buffalo herd, the family's finances remained stable, and both of them enjoyed excellent health. When they eventually passed away about 5 years ago, both had reached the age of 91. Everyone in the village said that throughout their lives, my parents had continuously accumulated virtue through kindness and compassion. That was why they were blessed with long, healthy, and happy lives, and why they were able to leave this world peacefully, serenely, and without regret.